In this start to finish tutorial for beginners, I'm going to show you how to use Convertkit to not only start building your email list, but then how to nurture that list over a really short period of time to help warm them up and convert them into paying clients. So this is definitely a no fluff tutorial that focuses on the stuff that's actually going to help your business the most, so you can just get in and get on with it quickly. Convertkit is definitely my favorite email marketing platform because of what you get for your money and how easy it is to use, even for complete newbies. And almost everything that I'm going to show you today is included on that free plan. And we're going to start with everything you can do for free, and then later I'm going to show you the one thing that you do need a paid plan to do, so then you can decide for yourself if it's worth it for you or not. But either way, if you wanted to get an extended 30-day free trial, just click my link in the description below and you're going to get double the free time you'd get without it. And I've created chapters that you can use below this video as well in case anything doesn't apply to you or you already know how to do something. You can just skip around to see what's going to help you the most. But in this video, we're going to cover how to sign up and what plan you should go with, how to import any current subscribers you may have, how to make your emails look great and branded with your colors, how to send one-off emails, how to create a simple opt-in form that you can put on your existing website, or how to create a beautiful, highly converting landing page opt-in form if you don't have a website yet. And then we'll wrap it all up with how to create the perfect email nurture sequence that's going to send off in a timed out way to every new subscriber you get. So this is the secret to turning those cold, casual prospects into flaming hot leads. So let's just jump right into the computer and get started. Okay, so here we are on the home page, and we're just going to go over to pricing so I can show you the different options you have. So basically, there is a free plan, and there's a creator plan and creator pro. So basically, free is fine, but you're missing a really key element, which is automated funnels and sequences, meaning that's what's going to let you automate your email sequence after someone has already opted in for your lead magnet. So I highly recommend going this route. And the good news is, if you click through the link below this video in the description, it's my affiliate link, that's going to give you an extended free trial of 30 days versus 14. Plus, the following month, if you decide to keep going with the paid plan, you're going to get 20% off that next month. But either way, I recommend just starting the free trial here. They don't ask for your credit card to get started. So what'll happen is at the end of the month, then you can decide, do I want to keep going and put in my credit card, or do I want to downgrade to the free plan? But I think it's good to start here so you can at least see what's possible. So I'm just going to click on Start Free Trial. Then you just put in your information and a password, click on Agree, and then get started. Now it's going to ask you a few questions. I'm just going to skip through these. Okay, so here we are in our dashboard. So the very first thing we want to do is just change our account settings for the correct email address that your email is actually going to send from. And there's a few other things we need to do there as well. So let's just go up here to the little icon and go to settings. Now from here, you just want to enter in your name. And I'm going to save changes. Then we want to go down to where it says email. Now this is your email address. Now one thing I will say, it's going to be really important in terms of your deliverability going forward to actually get an email address that's branded for your domain. Meaning instead of webcoachwes@gmail, this really should be, something like, wes@wesmcdowell.com, for instance. But whatever this email address is, it's actually going to send a confirmation email to that email address. So you do have to log into your email, and then I'm going to click on confirm and then verify your email. Really important step. Otherwise, it's actually not going to work for you. So, all right, now we're in. Now let's just go back to where we were. So click on the icon again and then settings and then down on email. Okay, so now our status is confirmed, which is what we want. So from here, we can choose a few things. So basically, we can choose what days of the week we want to send out emails on. And I highly recommend checking off Saturdays and Sundays. It's just not a great idea to send business emails on weekends. Even if you're more business to consumer, I've found that most people just don't check their emails nearly as much on weekends, meaning things will get lost. And if you're B2B, definitely uncheck those. Then you can choose what time of day you want to send it out, and you can choose your own time zone or whatever. So I like something around 11 a.m., but again, your mileage may vary. It's going to be different from business to business. And now this next part is really important. You actually have to put in your street address. And this is just basically anti-spam laws. They want to make sure that people are accountable for the content they're sending out. So you've got some options here though. You can put in your actual business address if you want to do that, but that's going to be visible to people. So if you value your privacy, you could do a few other things. You could get a UPS box or Here's something really interesting. I'm going to click on Learn More and show you this. They actually allow you to use their address, to use Convertkit's physical address as your own. Now, they do have a few stipulations here that you may or may not be comfortable with. The one that I can think of right away that you may not like is it says you give us permission to open all mail to this address in order to pass it on to the right source. Now, I don't think they're going to be opening your emails. I don't think that's a big deal. But if you really value your privacy and you absolutely don't want them to do that, then you might want to go a different way. But basically, it's all just saying you're a Convertkit customer and you're only going to use this for, email marketing using their services, all that kind of stuff. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do this here. I'm just going to kind of copy this and then go back and I'm just going to paste it in. Okay, so I've got all that in there. Now I'm going to go down and under GDPR settings, I'm not going to go too far in depth here. This is just basically a European law, like a privacy law in Europe. So what I would recommend choosing here is show only to subscribers currently in these countries where that law applies. That just covers your bases. And then I'm going to click on Save Changes. Okay, now let's go back up. And now I want to show you how to lightly brand your emails so they actually feel like they're part of your brand with the right colors that you can choose. So let's go up to Send and then over to Email Templates. And we've got this one right here. It's text only. One thing I do want to mention real quick, there are a lot of email providers that do provide a lot of fun looking templates with a lot of bells and whistles and graphics and stuff. Convertkit may offer those. I've never used them and I highly recommend you don't either. And here's why. If you ever send out an email that has all the headers and the images and the columns within it, nothing looks more like a promo email than that. So what you want to do is fly a little more under the radar and just have your emails look like they came from a friend or someone they trust. And so for that reason alone, I'm going to say only use these text-only emails, okay? Cool, so I'm just going to click on this and I'm just going to paste in some dummy content right here real quick just so we can see the styles. And there's a few things you can do. So you can change the font for this. I happen to think this looks just fine, but if you wanted something more with like a serif font, you could do that. You can change the font size. I do think this looks pretty good out of the box, though I wouldn't change too much of that. I'm actually going to put this back over to system font. But what I want to do here is change the link color because that's a really easy way to make your emails look nice and branded in a subtle way. So right here you can see this is the default, this blue color, but I happen to have a green color that I like to use for my links. So I'm just going to click right there. And if you've got your color code, you can paste it right in. Or, if you don't really have a color nailed down yet and you just want to find one, you can just kind of go around on the color wheel here and figure out whatever you want and just eyeball it. But I'm just going to paste that back in and I'm just going to delete all of this. And then I'm going to click on Save. So this way, every email you send after this is going to follow these styles. So while we're still getting set up here, if you were to have a list of subscribers that you already are bringing into this, you have a list of email addresses. I'm assuming you probably don't, but if you do, you're just going to go up to Grow, Subscribers, and then over here on Add Subscribers. And I'm just going to click on Add Subscribers without creating a tag. And then you can choose how you want to do it. So if you just have a single subscriber, you would just click there and go through those steps. Or more likely, you probably have a list. So you just want to put those all into a spreadsheet with a column for their first name and whatever information you have, everything separated into columns. You just click here and go through those steps. Or you would click here, if you're with MailChimp or you're with Drip or you're with ActiveCampaign or something like that, and you want to just automatically import everyone over from there. So you just choose your own adventure here and go through any of these 3 steps. And they'll do a good job of walking you through that, so we don't need to waste too much time here on it. But now let's get into the actual meat of this in terms of email marketing. The first thing you want to do when it comes to getting started here is you want to create an opt-in form that people can put in their email address for on your website to be added to your email list. And now generally to do that, you want to offer something in return. It's not enough these days just to say, hey, sign up for my newsletter. I think you'll find you won't get a lot of signups that way. Instead, you want to come up with a great, compelling lead magnet that people will sign up for and it'll get delivered automatically that promises to help them with a very real pain point they have right now. So I'm not going to get too much into lead magnets. I do have videos all about that. So if you're interested, I will leave a link to one of those right beneath this video. But for now, let's assume you have a lead magnet. And there are 2 main ways of creating this opt-in form. So we'll go up to Grow. info. And then we have landing pages and forms. So I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to go down to create new. So here we've got a choice. I'm going to show you both ways. I'm going to start with a form. So basically, as it says here, you can embed a form anywhere on your website, sales page, or landing page that you host yourself. So if you have a website and you want to have this form just appear on your website, this is the option you would choose. If you don't really have a website or you don't want to go in there and add code to it, you could just create an out-of-the-box standalone landing page using Convertkit. So again, we're going to start with a form. I'm going to show you how to do it that way. And you've got some choices here too. So the two that I think are most important here are going to be inline and modal. I'm going to skip these two. So inline means, imagine you have your page content, then you would just have a form right here within the content of the page. Modal is a pop-up. So basically you've seen these before. You get to a website either right away or when you're mousing back up toward the back button, a pop-up will appear prompting you to fill in your information for that lead magnet. So let's just focus for right now on inline. And you've got all these options, but I think it's best if you're putting this on your website, I'm going to go super simple because the rest of the content on that page will have the title of the lead magnet and all that information. All we need is the form itself. So I'm going to choose the Claire form and just click on choose. Okay, so here we have a really basic form that's just asking for an email address. And I don't recommend asking for too much more than this actually, but one more thing. So I'm going to click right here and I'm going to go down to custom field and I'm going to choose first name, because we want to get their first name so that, when we send off emails in the future, we can personalize them a little bit. Now from there, you can change the font color. Right now it's just set to black, or the border color. There's a really thin border around here, but I think that all looks pretty good. I'm just going to click on the button now so we can change the background color of this. And I'm going to use our same green color. I'm going to change the language from subscribe to something like send me my free checklist or my free guide, my free video series, whatever it is your lead magnet is offering. That's what it's going to say. So now I'm just going to click on publish. And from here, it's going to give you the line of code that you can use on your website. So I'm just going to go to HTML. I know this seems very complicated. It's really not. I'm just going to click on copy. And this becomes really easy if you're using something like Elementor within WordPress. So if you're using something like Elementor, like I have here, you're just going to go up and you're just going to grab the HTML widget. And this may be different for whatever you're using to build your website, but in most cases, they're going to give you some way of adding a little snippet of HTML code. So I'm just going to paste what I copied, and there we go. It just pastes right in there. Okay, so we have it embedded on our page, but we're not done yet because we have to actually configure this to where when someone fills the form out, it's actually going to trigger that email being delivered to them that delivers the lead magnet as promised. So the way we do this is we go up to settings, and you want to make sure over on incentive that this little check mark is checked. The incentive email is the email that's going to send out delivering that lead magnet. So we're going to edit what the email says in a second, but first we actually need to attach the downloadable, right? In our case, it'll be a PDF of some kind. So I'm going to click on choose a file. Okay, so I've got our little downloadable here. Now let's go and edit the email contents themselves. So we've got the from email address. We've already configured that. We've got the subject line, but we want it to be a little bit more spicy than confirm your subscription, right? So it's really important to remember, we actually want people to open this email and we want them to actually download the lead magnet so they can start going through it and you can start building trust that way. So I like to do something like this for a subject line, just telling them, what they downloaded has arrived and like some kind of a fun emoji. I like to use those as well. Now from there, I'm going to just delete this text right here and I'm going to paste in some text of my own. Okay, so I've pasted the body of the email that I actually want to use. And then what we've got here is this button. So this is required, forces them to confirm their subscription. But remember what we did, we added that download. So what will happen is once they click this button, they're going to automatically be redirected to that download. So I'm just going to change the language here a little bit. I'm just going to say confirm and download your Kickstart kit. Then if I want to change the color here, I'm just going to type in our same green color code. All right, so I think it all looks pretty good. So from now, we're just going to click on save. So just to recap here, when people click on that confirm and download button, it's going to redirect them to the download of the lead magnet that we already uploaded here. You still with me? All right, cool. So now I'm just going to click on save, and now that is good to go. And then from here, we just need to click on publish to make sure it's published. And then from here, we just have to click on save one more time just to make sure it's been saved. And I did promise you another way of doing this with a whole landing page. So if you want to learn how to do that, stick with me. If not, you can skip to the next chapter. But I'm going to go back to Grow, Landing Pages and Forms, and then Create New. This time we'll choose a landing page. So again, this is a freestanding page that Convertkit can host on their end, so you don't even need a website to be able to do this, which is great if you're just starting out. So they've got all these options. I would highly recommend keeping it very simple, and also don't get too dazzled or put off by the images and the colors, because you can change those anyway. I like to generally go with whatever the simplest one they have is. I'm just going to click on preview for this and see what we've got. And I think I'm just going to choose this first one. It's nice and simple. So I'm just going to click on choose. And from here, we just customize all the content. So I'm probably going to get rid of the image right here because this isn't really relevant here. So we're just going to click on the trash can. And you can see it has kind of a placeholder here, but if you click on preview, it's not actually going to be there. So don't worry about that. And then here's where we would type in the name of the lead magnet. And then you just put a nice little short paragraph of what's included right there. And just like how we did on the form, let's go ahead and add a first name field here. So I'm just going to click on the plus icon, and then under custom field, I'm going to choose first name. And I might actually reorder these, first name followed by email address. And then I'll click on the button itself, and I will change this text to something a little bit more interesting and specific, something like that. And then I'll change the color to our green color just by pasting it right in there. And of course we can change other things like the fonts and all that kind of stuff. If we go back over to general styles, under headings, we could do something a little bit more modern. I like Montserrat, let's go with that. And the same here, but not gonna spend too much time here, you get it. And then finally, we can change the background here. So let's go ahead and click on this image. Now, if you had an image you wanted to use yourself, you would just go ahead and upload it now. Or what's really cool is they have an integration with Unsplash, which is all these free to use stock photos. I'm just gonna type in something here like computer smiling and see if we can find a nice happy image of a person scrolling the internet, something like that. Okay, and I might choose this one. Let's see what that one looks like. So the one thing I don't like is it feels like there's kind of a green haze to it. I think the overlay color is slightly green. So I'm just gonna choose just black. I think that looks better. And I'm gonna go to preview. I think that looks pretty nice. So let's just go ahead and click on save and publish. But of course we need to go through the same steps to make sure that this is actually going to fire off that email. So let's go over to settings and then over to incentive. After confirming a redirect, we're gonna go to a download and we'll choose a file. So we're just gonna upload the same thing we already uploaded last time. And then we're gonna go to edit email contents, and I'm gonna pop in the exact same information we did for our form demo, starting with our subject line. And then I'm gonna replace this text. Just gonna delete it, and I'm gonna paste in what we've got. Okay, then we need to make sure that this button says what we want it to say. So again, we wanna change it to confirm and download. So again, when they click this button, they're doing two things. They're confirming their subscription, which is really important for deliverability, and it's going to redirect them automatically to where they can download that lead magnet. So I'm just gonna change the color of the button one more time. And once we're happy with it, I'm just gonna go down and click on save and save one more time. Then finally, let's go up to publish. And then this is going to give us the URL for this landing page. So I'm just gonna copy that and I'm gonna paste it in just to make sure we've got it. There it is, ready to go. So again, it's up to you if you want to do this method or if you want to just make the form and embed that on your existing website. It's completely up to you. And remember, there are different landing page templates you can choose from. It doesn't have to look just like this. All right, so we're just back on the dashboard. Now I want to show you how to do one of the simple things you can do using a program like this. One of the things you might have to do a lot, and that's sending out a one-off email. Let's say you've got a list built up and you have something to let them know about, a promotion, or you've created a new blog post or a new video or a new podcast episode, and you want to send off what they call a broadcast email to everybody on your list. The way we do that is just go up to send, and then broadcasts. As it says here, broadcasts are one-time emails that are sent to all subscribers or filtered based on, a segment or a tag, something like that. So let's just go up to new broadcast. And it's really easy to do. You're just gonna pop in your subject line. So I'd type in something like this, and right where it says add content, I'm just gonna paste in what I have. Okay, so here's the email I just pasted it in, or I could have just written it right out in real time here. But you'll notice there's some bold text. I do that on purpose. I basically want to bold key phrases that I really want people to see. And the way you do that is you just highlight your text, and this pops up. You can italicize it, you can bold it, whatever you want to do. You can add a link. I'll show you how to do that right now. This is basically linking to a YouTube video. So if I wanted to link to that YouTube video, I would simply highlight the text, click on the link, and then I would just type in the URL to the video right there. And then I'd click on add link. You can add images in here. You can add GIFs in here. So just if I wanted to put an image right here, I would just click on the plus icon, and then you'd go down to image, and then you can upload something. You can do GIFs too, which I love to do. Or again, you could just choose something else from Unsplash. That works as well. I'm actually gonna just delete that because I don't think we need it in this case. But the other thing you can do is really cool. Let's say we want to personalize this. I'm just gonna say, hey there, and then I'm gonna click on the plus icon, and then I'm gonna go to personalization. It's the first thing. We're just gonna do subscriber first name, because remember, we get people's first name when they sign up, and then when this sends out to me, it would say, hey there, Wes. It's just a good way to kind of build a little bit of rapport. So once you have it the way you want it, we've got our link in here, we've got our personalization in there. I'm just gonna click on continue. Then you wanna make sure you're sending it to the right people. So if it's all subscribers, or if you've got people tagged a certain way, you might wanna just send it to those people. And then you've got a choice of sending it now or sending it at some point in the future. So if I wanted to send it out, I send all mine out on Tuesdays. I could do March 1st, and you can choose whatever time you want it to go out at. Just make sure you've got the right time zone here. And then you'd click on continue. And then it's just gonna make you confirm and then schedule broadcast. Okay, so that is what we can do. That is everything we can do with the free version of Convertkit. There's one thing that we need the paid version to be able to do, and that is, if we go to send, if we go down to sequences, this is something that we actually need to pay for. So basically what this does is this automates a sequence of emails that you can set up in advance to where every single new opt-in you get is going to automatically get this sequence, which is really helpful when it comes time to just wanting to set it and forget it, right? You create a series of maybe 10 emails that go out once a week over time, and then you never have to think about it again. Now, I use this kind of thing all the time in my business, and it's really powerful. So the way you do it is just go up to new sequence, and you want to give it a name. So let's say this is the kind of thing where they signed up for your lead magnet, and now you're sending out those 10 emails afterward to nurture them, to warm them up into paying clients. So I'll just call this nurture sequence, and then click on create sequence. Okay, so what it's gonna prompt you to do is just write your first email. So you'd type in your subject line here, just like we've done before, and you would put in your content just the same way as you did before as well. The only problem here is they have all this content in here already. What I like to do is I just like to get rid of it. I just like to highlight it and then delete it so we're starting fresh. But you need to keep this stuff in here. That is required by law. You always want people to be able to unsubscribe, because if they're not happy with the content they're getting from you and they can't find a way to unsubscribe, they're just gonna mark you as spam, and that's the last thing you want. So that's gonna make all your other emails go into other people's spam folders. So if people don't want your stuff, give them an easy way out. They're not your customers anyway. This is really important. This is the timing of it. So remember, someone opted in for your lead magnet, and then this is the timing. How far after that email, remember they get that delivery email right after, how far after that do you want this one to come? It's gonna be up to you and your business, but I like a week. So unfortunately, we only have days and hours to go by. So I'm just gonna click day, and obviously just gonna click on 7. Oh, but remember we clicked off Saturday and Sunday. So what I actually wanna do is bump this down to 5 now. That means after 5 business days, basically. So it'll still always be a week. Then you're just gonna, write all your content here the way we did last time. All right, so we've got our, bold text. We've got a GIF here. We've got a little thumbnail here if you want to do that, if you're driving people to back to YouTube or whatever you want to do here to entice people to click. But we're not done here because we have to do a whole sequence, right? All we need to do is click over on add email, and you're gonna keep going one after another, just writing the subject line, writing the body of the email, and then you're also gonna change the timing. So again, I'm gonna do 5 days after. I'm spacing these all a week apart. Now what I want you to do here is really just focus on creating enough emails so you have enough runway to go. You don't even have to create all of your emails way into the future, you could create a couple now, and then just so you're a few weeks ahead of it, as long as you agree to every week, you're going to add a new email to the back of the sequence until you get to enough runway to get people all the way through a sales cycle. So if you know that it's going to take people about 4 months of getting helpful content from you before they're going to want to move forward and hire you, then you want about 4 months worth of weekly content. So if you want to know what's working extremely well right now in email marketing, like what kind of content to send out, how often should you be selling versus sharing, as well as all my best tips on subject lines and creating those emails that are actually going to build trust, I've got the only video you need, and it's right here. So this is the stuff that's going to truly help your email campaigns be insanely profitable and way more than pay for your Convertkit subscription every month. So click right here and I'll show you what I mean.